What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new episode. Coach Joe here with Heartletics.com. And I'm really excited to dive into today's episode because we're going to be talking, continuing on with our series of the top 5 greatest quotes. And in today's episode, I'm honored to be talking about this because, in my opinion, he's a great role model. But we're going to be talking about Bruce Lee, the greatest of all times when it comes to, martial arts. And just, he has so many great quotes, so many great his mindset, plain and simple. His philosophy on life, everything like that. He has literally hundreds and thousands of quotes that are just like hitting gems. And it was actually really hard for me to create a list of top 5, for Bruce Lee because he has so many golden nuggets, so many. The one that most people are familiar with is probably the one about being formless, like water, and how to deal with kind of like frustration. Great quote. That one, unfortunately, did not make the list. The top 5 that I wanted to dive into was more so of one that encourages me, in terms of being a business owner, in terms of being a husband, in terms of being a father, in terms of just being a goal getter, right? Somebody that is looking to have success at reaching their goals, but then at the same time, continue on that trend. It's like, okay, then the next goal, and then the next goal, and then the next goal, right? So when I get to, study Bruce Lee and listen and watch and see some of his quotes, I'm like, man, I could put myself, I need that. I need that. It's a little bit of inspiration for me. So hopefully you guys get some value as well. Hopefully you guys get some inspiration. Like I said, Bruce Lee has so many great, amazing quotes out there. And these were the top 5, in my opinion, that really hold true to inspiring me. And hopefully it can do the same for you. Okay, let's dive in. So, number 5, right? And I love this one. It says, quote unquote, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." Okay, let's talk about that. So once again, Bruce Lee is what's saying is he's not afraid of somebody that, and in martial arts, there's so many different kicks, right? There's Muay Thai kicks, there's spinning back kicks, there's, axe kicks. There's a variety of different kicks. What Bruce Lee is saying is, hey, he doesn't fear somebody that might know all these different kicks, but only practices it once. Because what's the point of having the knowledge of knowing how to do something, but there's no competence, right? Competence equals confidence. And where you get competence from is from putting in the work. It's from doing the reps, right? Now, for me personally, right, being in the cage and used to do, MMA fighting, this makes a lot of sense because somebody could do let's say a leg kick and chop you down, right? And all they need is one kick because they practice it thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of times. That's their go-to. Think about it like in terms of Khabib, right? I'm not even going to pronounce his last name because I'll butcher it. Obviously, he retired after having a just unstoppable track record of MMA fights, including victories over, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor, But he had it like these submissions that was just down, right? Where it's just like, hey, if he took anybody down to the ground, he was really good at wrestling. He would get him into submission, and odds are they would be tapped out. And he probably drilled those submissions over and over and over and over and over again. He became a master of that, And so when it comes down to this, it's like, hey, whatever you do, right? Just make sure that you focus on that honed craft, right? And focus on the reps, the competence, because that's what's going to lead to confidence. So at Heartletics, for example, inside of our coaching program, we don't ever like to say, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. It's more so of working with somebody and their lifestyle. So if someone's trying to put on some muscle, lose some body fat, right? We would focus on maybe something small that they know they can do over and over and over again. Maybe that's something like hitting a protein goal or doing some push-ups and sit-ups or just a daily step goal. Something like that over and over and over again, they practice, And it leads to so much so of having better habits, because you're able to just, instead of getting so focused on this, and this, once again, confused, right? We like to say maybe that's overanalysis paralysis. So many different options, you don't know where to start. Instead, focus on this and just excel at that. There's plenty of ways to skin a cat. And I love this quote by Bruce Lee that, goes over all that in detail. The fourth quote, right, is the possession of anything begins in the mind. Now, for me being somebody that just loves learning about the mind, loves learning about, different studies of somebody's mindset, like everything like that, breaking self-limiting beliefs. And as new studies roll out with, different neurologists and research papers, it's just amazing, right? How much so the mind is involved. And I love this quote by Bruce Lee because he's saying that the possession of anything begins in the mind. And immediately when I hear that, I just right ahead go start thinking about Roger Bannister, right? The man that was able to complete the 4-minute mile, the very first one. Before he was able to complete that, everybody thought it was impossible. In fact, doctors thought that the human heart would actually explode if somebody was able to complete the 4-minute mile. And he was able to complete that. And since he was able to break those self-limiting doubts in all these other individuals that went ahead and completed that, or tried to at least, they were actually able to have success. I think over 130 people were able to, complete the 4-minute mile so far. And it all started with him breaking the self-limiting beliefs. It's the same thing with people going up to the moon, right? That started in somebody's mind. It's the same thing with having electricity. That started in somebody's mind. It's the same thing by, having anything in life, right? iPhones, computers, ring lights, podcast mics, right? It first started in somebody's mind. So the position of anything always begins in somebody's mind. What's the phrase? If you can see it in your head, you can hold it in your hands. And there's a lot of truth to that. As we continue, the third quote from Bruce Lee that I absolutely love is, as you think, you shall become. As you think, so shall you become. And I love that because it goes right into what we just mentioned. Meaning that, hey, whatever it is that you want, right, that you're constantly thinking about, you're going to get. Right? Obviously, it's like so many times, though, people put up these self-limiting beliefs once again. Or people put up this how to, and I have to do this and try to figure it out. It's like, no, like just get creative with your own imagination. Think about your goals, right? Plain and simple. And I challenge anybody, and this is why I love, meditation, visualization, because it's really fun exercises to just get your creative juices flowing. I challenge you, right, to spend 5-10 minutes, turn the phone on Do Not Disturb, have no distractions, put in some binaural beats in your ears, and just breathe. That's it. Try your best to let all the commotion in your head kind of clear itself out to where you're not getting all these random thoughts. But then what I want you to do is, hey, visualize yourself as if you already had success at reaching your goals. Don't worry about the how. Don't focus on that. Just what would that be like? What would that feel like? Get all these emotions involved, right? Sure enough, spend 5-10 minutes on that. You're going to feel great. Let the rest be history after that. First, just think, right? This quote is, as you think, so shall you become. Not if you think, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this, and then do this. Now, I'm not saying, right, just sit there, meditate, and boom, all of a sudden you got $1 million sitting on your lap. Odds are it's not going to work that way, right? But who knows? Maybe you might get a hunch saying, hey, apply for this job, or hey, start their own business, or do this, or whatever the case may be, that that's your intuition telling you, hey, you told us we want this in terms of this visual scene and how great it looks, how great it feels. Here's the action plan. Let your intuition kind of speak within yourself, but first map it out saying this is what you want. Okay. Now, the second quote that I absolutely love by Bruce Lee is, if you love life, don't waste it, for time is what life is made up of. Once again, if you love life, don't waste it, for time is what life is made up of. I hear this all the time. Guys tell me like, oh yeah, I'll do this once my finances are good, or I'll do this after the holidays, or I'll do this, starting next week, or whatever the case may be. It's like, I'm glad that somebody out there knows and has complete faith and confidence that, maybe after the next few months or next few weeks, or hey, they know within 6 months, right, they're going to make all this money and da-da-da-da-da. I'm glad that they can forecast and predict the future. Because I don't know about you guys, but the life that I live, I make sure that each and every day I fall in love with that, because there's no promises at all, meaning that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. So I take this quote very seriously, right? If you love life, don't waste time. Let that sink in. You want to make money, right? Well, okay, go sell some crap on Facebook Marketplace. Go take out a 0% interest credit card, right? You instantly got money right there. Go grab your kids and have a lemonade stand, or shovel some driveways, or, rake up some leaves, or go Uber on the weekends, or work some extra hours, right? Like, we live in America. Like, you can make money on your cell phones, right? Go dabble in stocks. You can multiple ways, literally hundreds of ways. You know how many ways there are to make your time back? I don't know any. Being completely honest. I don't know anybody that has created a time machine, right, where they can go back and repeat all this days because, hey, they're living carefree, right? They got it down. No. Guys, time is finite. It's limited. Money that maybe you care so much so about, you gotta understand, they print money each and every day. That's it. Even in cryptocurrency, they got new crypto each and every day. So it's like, get your mind saying that, hey, there's something that is a free resource that they're printing out money each and every day. It's just maybe you're not in the right income streams, right, to acquire some of that wealth. Well, guess what? Like, you're so focused on that, you're forgetting about what it matters most. And I always like to ask this question, right, now that we're talking about this, is, I hear from guys saying, oh, I want to make more money. I want to make more money. I want to make more money. Who doesn't, right? There's a lot of freedom that is involved in that. But let's just say somebody was going to hand you a check for $1 million, right? Now, next thing you know, you're a millionaire. How's that going to feel? Probably feels great, right? I know somebody handed me a check and I didn't have to work for it. That'll feel great, But here's the reality. What if, I gave you a check for $1 million and then I said, hey, in 2 days from now, there's no more life. Would you really want to do that trade? You got 2 days to spend all your wealth, $1 million, right? And that's it. It's like, most of the time people would say, no, I don't want that money. I want to continue living on because, my health is more important. My family is more important. My time here on earth is more important. There's a lot of things that I, haven't done that I want to do. I want to accomplish, mark it off the, the bucket list. So it's like, you got to sometimes just kind of be real with yourself, and ask yourself that. And plus, let's say, hey, somebody did give you all this money. Do you actually know? Like I would say like this, and we see this all the time with the lottery, right? Somebody wins the lottery, and within 5 years, they end up going broke again. Why? Well, they didn't have to go through the hardships of learning how to acquire the wealth. They didn't have to go through, having a money mindset of knowing what to do with their money and being, a good steward of, having money management skills. Typically, they end up just blowing it all out. Versus somebody that had to work very hard, very diligent, and had to go through a lot of trial and errors to eventually acquire that wealth. To where, hey, they get that money and they're able to maintain that and keep it. And in fact, probably produce more of it. So just think about that. Now, as we go into my, top number one quote from Bruce Lee, really understand this because it goes hand in hand with what I just said. Okay? Be happy, but never satisfied. Be happy, but never satisfied. Guys, be happy, but never satisfied. So what does that mean? That means, okay, hey, let's say you want to reach your goals. Let's say you want to make all this money. That's great. And I'm sure that's going to make you feel happy. But I think one of the finer things about life is understanding that and I guess it might be best to kind of share with you this quote that I heard. The wolf that's climbing the hill is always hungrier than the wolf that's at the top of the hill. So I challenge you, hey, be on this growth, right? This life of growth, ambition. Right? Go after your goals. Be happy. But at the same time, don't ever feel satisfied. Don't ever feel like, oh man, I achieved, all this wealth, or I achieved all this health, or I achieved all this happiness. It's like, continue to do more, continue to do more, continue to do more. That's why at Heartletics, we focus so much so on leaving a legacy. Meaning, hey, we got one life to live, right? Let's really show up and show out, right? Let's really give it our all each and every day. Let's never be satisfied. Let's never say, oh, we're able to reach our goals and that's it. now we're just going to sit on the sidelines and not play the game of life anymore. It's like, no, work on developing your character trait, work on developing your skill sets, and always focus on becoming the best version that you can be. Because I think that's the funnest thing about life is you go through all these ups and all these downs, but looking back, you can say, man, I'm really glad that I decided to do this. I'm really glad that I decided to do this. And you get these experiences, you get these feelings, you get these memories. So that way, at the end of your life, you're able to enjoy that. Because think about it, you can't go to the grave, right, with your bank account. Like, it's not going to matter. But you're always going to have your memories. You're always going to have your experiences. And that's why I just hope that at the end of the day, maybe some of these quotes I share with you or you listening to some of the other episodes, on the podcast, it gives you a sense of inspiration. It gives you a sense of hope to continue to strive, continue to become the best version of yourself. And what do we mean by that at Heartletics? We do not mean just physically, right? Just from, working out and eating healthy. No, we mean so mentally as well. We focus on the four pillars of success. That is you focusing on filling up your cups, right? That is your physical health. That's your mental health. That's your emotional health. And that's your spiritual health. And when you focus each and every day on filling up your cups, guess what? You can pour back out into others. So much more so. So hopefully you guys got some value from today's episode. If you did, definitely do me a favor. Share this with a friend. Share this with a family member. Share this maybe on a social media page for somebody to gain some inspiration as well. And with that being said, this has been Coach Joe with Heartletics.com. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out, Girl Scouts.